Okay, I usually hate romance movies unless they're incredibly sad. But I gotta tell you, after seeing the title of this, I thought, what the hell kind of movie are we watching?
Una vez más.
Okay, I'm doing up snapping. Okay.
What is a clapper load? What is a clapper loader load?
Okay, it makes the
Austin-
sound and the
Austin
visual
Powers.
No, I
and
know
the
what
thing
that's
go
about.
together.
What is the job?
He
Clapper
turns on the
loader.
lights.
Yeah.
When did you get the clapper? December 1968. Austin Powers.
Okay.
greatest movie.
So funny enough, mine is a comedy. So my movie is My Donkey, My Lover, and I.
Let's watch the trailer.
Allez, à nous. Elle est où ta femme?
J'ai aucune idée. Antoinette, je suis pas là la semaine prochaine. On part tous les trois dans les Cévennes.
Tous les trois.
Non, pas toi, nous trois avec Alice.
Six jours de marche, on est d'accord? Oui, c'est ça, oui. 870 €. 870 €.
Vous marchez avec un âne?
Pourquoi? Pas vous?
Non, on n'est pas les fous.
Bonjour Patrick.
Voilà, s'il prend de la vitesse dans les descentes, hélicoptère, hein, il a peur, il s'arrête.
Et pour avancer? Allez Patrick, avance.
Là, il faut vraiment que tu t'imposes. Hein.
Avance.
Faut que tu lui montres qui est le maître.
Allez mon gros, on avance. Qu'est-ce qui va pas? Tu vas avancer, espèce de bourrique de merde. Vladimir, il me plaisait pas du tout. C'était pas du tout mon genre. Maîtresse? Alice. Ça alors hein?
Ça alors, c'est extraordinaire.
Je te demande une chose. Ne viens pas avec nous demain.
Je vais rester un peu avec vous.
Oh non, 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 ça me gêne là.
Non, bah faut pas.
Je suis pas venue pour des bonnes raisons.
L'important, c'est pas le but, c'est le chemin.
Okay. So the French name, the French name of the English name is a little awkward. The French name of this movie is Antoinette dans les Cevennes. Apparently, this is quite a tourist attraction, and people go hiking in Les Cevennes, which is a mountain range, and in the south of France, with or without a donkey. So let's see. Antoinette, who is Laure Calamy, is an elementary school teacher. The opening scene, okay, this is what attracted me to this. The opening scene is all the children have their heads down and they're counting to 50, in French, of course, while she is changing into a really inappropriate evening dress. Right here, we figure she is a spontaneous risk taker. And that's a nice way of putting it, right? With very questionable boundaries. So, but remember, this is France, Rom-Com, so a lot more latitude in this area. We find out she's having an affair with one of her students' father, Vladimir, played by Benjamin Levernin. Anyways, excuse my pronunciation. I'm sorry. They were supposed to be going away together for a week for a summer vacation, but alas, he cannot. What's the matter?
I'm wondering why we skipped over George.
Well, that's coming. He's talking about the movie.
Because it seems we just go around the table and we skipped over George.
No, that's when we talk. But with the movies are already in order. See,
He's up to where we're sitting.
Excuse me.
that's right. Okay, so she's going away together for a week for her summer vacation. Alas, he cannot because his wife Eleanor, played by Olivia Cote, wants to go hiking with I think I gave that a Spanish pronunciation, but that's okay. Wants to go hiking with a donkey in the Les Cevennes with her daughter Alice, played by Louise Vidal. Antoinette is disappointed, to say the least. So she spontaneously decides to book herself on the same hike. What could happen? Okay. When she arrives, totally inappropriately dressed for a hike, she has like heels and, it turns out she is the only one in the group that has rented a donkey. Her donkey is named Patrick, and their relationship is really the central theme of this movie. And it's really, I found it a very entertaining film. It's really about her and her donkey. Everything else is not whatever. Antoinette is an interesting character as she is continually unsettled by. Everybody is continually unsettled by her behavior. Excuse me, my voice is going. I liked her and I didn't like her. It was at the same time, both at the same time. The movie was written and directed by Caroline Vignal. Also, the film takes you through the really beautiful area of France, Les Cevennes Mountains. It's really quite beautiful. All in all, I really was quite pleasantly surprised at how much I liked this film and would definitely recommend it. It was just so different. And it was a rom-com, I guess you would call it. But the rom-com is between her really and the donkey is really the relationship.
What's a rom-com?
Romantic comedy.
Romantic comedy.
I didn't know that.
Okay, Patty.
Okay, I usually hate romance movies unless they're incredibly sad. But I got to tell you, after seeing the title of this, I thought, what the hell kind of movie are we watching? Is it porn movie? Right? Antoinette is somebody in life that I would totally just have she has no respect. She doesn't care if she's with a married man. She doesn't care if she's like breaking up a home. She doesn't care about anything what she wants. But yet you still like her.
Yes.
And what it is, well, one is she looks incredibly, everybody looks normal in all our movies.
Yeah.
And that's one thing now I like about foreign movies is that they're better at that.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like a real girl.
Patrick is the only one who doesn't conform to her. So that's why Patrick, the donkey, Patrick. And what's so interesting is you watch her, which she probably does her whole life, and we all do our whole life. We do the same actions to get a certain result, but to get a different result, you've got to do different actions. And you really see her do that.
Yes.
Yeah, you know,
jump through those hoops,
yeah,
basically.
jump through those hoops, and you think, well, try something else. And it's how she leads her life, but it's somewhere in all our lives. And I find that interesting. That's why Patrick is so important in the movie, because he just does what he wants, and she can't make him do anything.
She can't change him.
She can't
change him.
accommodate him. She has to work around him as opposed to...
Right. And she's so used to just going after what she wants. I was more amazed that nobody was calling her on breaking up a home. I thought that was horrible, but I loved the wife in it. Who did she look like? Who was Ethan Hawke married to?
Uma Thurman.
That woman looked like, what's her name?
She was kind of a
Uma
handsome
Thurman,
woman. She was very
she's
beautiful
very
in a modelish
looking
way.
And I liked how she approached it. Like, I knew when she came walking back, because she's following them everywhere. The wife, you think, doesn't know, but you know the wife knows, because the wife always
And also
knows.
the kid seems to
She's
know.
not the girl from Apartment 8, your movie? With
I don't think so.
The pandemic?
I'm not sure.
The one that is in the garbage can. The guy says, she's shitting at him with that guy. And not by the dumpster.
No. That wasn't Olivia Coles.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Anyway, so when the wife came walking down to help her, right? I thought, she knows. She knows, and she's going to call her on it. But the way the wife presented it was so practical, which most wives would. And the way the girl responds to it is like, it totally threw me off. I thought they were going to have a showdown right there, right?
No, I thought she was great the way she would, like you would. Like, fuck, is this happening?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like everything buzzes by her. Also, too, why would you go after Vladimir? He was just...
No accounting for taste, Patty.
What?
No accounting for taste.
I always notice with the affairs, I'm like, Jesus.
Well, she kind of defines it, the wife. She kind of says you
Life
like
was great.
you
I think
like
she-
it because
Because
you
he's
know
married
it's
and
dangerous.
unattainable.
It's
a
dangerous.
challenge.
It's that
Yeah.
she kind of says
I
it.
never got dangerous from Vladimir, but I just
Well,
looking at Vladimir.
the danger part is not that he's dangerous. That
It's the
That she's
affair.
available.
The affair.
The affair.
So that's
Right.
probably the high for her.
But as much as I kept trying to want to hate this girl, or she was so against everything I believe in, right?
Yeah.
You can't help but like her because she's so human, I guess. That's
Well, she's kind of
and she's
like
naive about what she's doing. Like she has no idea she's ruining other people's lives.
yeah,
or-
she's not aware at all.
No.
She's just going for what she wants.
You hate
she's
it. You hate
kind
it
of
because
ruthless in a way.
you hate it because she's self-absorbed, but you like her because she's naive, like you said.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she totally is get it.
And
But
she's kind of
Patrick
sweet,
was a
and
star.
she's kind of
She's sweet.
sweet.
She's sweet. Yeah.
Like she's got the children singing the
love
song that they
song,
were
and it's
singing.
appropriate.
Takes her clothes off in front of him.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah. And she's in this evening dress and she's singing this song that is like so inappropriate.
For
And then-
children
but
to be
the children
singing.
are just
Yeah.
going
Totally
through
into it.
doing being
Right.
children.
And
They're
she's
just going, the sun is coming
Right.
out and I miss my lover. And
Right.
Because again, she's self-absorbed. She's doing it for her lover,
Right.
And not thinking that the kids shouldn't be singing this.
yeah, go ahead.
So blindsided.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's why you're right. Because the thing is, no, I didn't really like her at the beginning. Period.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, that song's really inappropriate. But then you realize you're right. She's in her own world now. The one thing I would forgive her is like, okay, she's in love with this guy, basically, right? So how I saw it is like, okay, here's this woman. She doesn't care. She just wants to be happy and be with her lover.
Right.
And then she gets, no pun intended, saddled with a donkey, basically, right? And here's the weirdest part. I just thought, oh, isn't that great? You know, because again, you know how I talk about the French and the French women.
Yeah.
Right? I don't find her mad or crazy at all. I just find her very normal, right? But then I thought, oh, great. So here she is. She's going to be with a jackass. Now he's representing the male in the film, right?
Yeah.
To which, okay, all men are jackasses. She's going after hers, right? The thing is, because she's with the donkey, Patrick, she is now unloading everything in herself onto him.
Yes.
So for what I thought was charming is, no, she's sort of on this hike of self-discovery.
Absolutely.
Literally, as you go along, she's getting a little bit more smarter about how she's dealing with things. And like you said, I think one of the key factors was talking to the wife at one point. That was sort of fascinating to me as well. Because again, I think that's so French.
Yes.
That's very
That
true.
having affairs is not a big thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you're right when the wife basically says, "Oh, I'm just so happy you and the others because he just wants sex all the time, and I didn't have the energy or that. Wow, and isn't that practical?" Yet she talks about their bond because no, I'm married and I have a family.
Right.
So what I did like about the thing that she was being made fun of because on this hike. At the beginning, they're all together and they're all pretty open. And so they're saying, "Oh, why are you here?" And they keep pressing her. So she basically is very honest, which again made me like her. I thought, okay, at least she's telling the truth of why she's there. And people are just like maybe rolling their eyes thinking, oh, but then it almost becomes a joke.
Yeah.
That every time she makes it to the next camp, it's
Everybody
like,
knows who she
well,
is.
why did you take so long? Did you go looking for him? This and that. And then like people at one point are actually cheering when she shows up on time kind of thing, right? Because she's always late because of Patrick. Literally, this is what's the great thing is, I think you hit it on the nail that she lives her life the own way. Now she's settled with Patrick. She has to do everything at Patrick's pace. She cannot go on her own pace anymore.
I thought the jackass part was representative of her.
Oh no,
It's like
I
her
thought it was
reading herself.
No, I thought literally it was of men, of how she deals with men. And then she's realizing, I'm not going to change this guy who's married to be with me, I can't change him.
Well, the
I
wife
can
knows.
she, I think, sort of learns that.
Learns
right?
that, yeah,
because
right.
another part I liked is sort of when she meets this biker gang. You know, they're doing another tour on their motorcycle stuff, and she actually does have, I think, a nice, charming kind of personality. Because at one point I thought she's going to end up one guy, and there's another guy who's sort of more aggressive, who's actually interested in her. I thought, see, now she's seeing what sort of life is really about. You know, after she injured herself and stuff like this, I thought, see. everything bad's happening to her, but now she's standing on her own 2 feet, to why at the end of the movie, she gets so attached to Patrick, she's almost, in tears, the fact that, where's Patrick? And said, I'm sorry, these are meals for hire. He's going back the other way.
Cared about somebody other than herself.
Exactly, that much. Just
Also,
the fact that she could say goodbye.
You cannot out stubborn a donkey.
Well, in a way, I think you can, because I think when she started literally talking about her life to him, and to talk about her stubbornness, right? About she just wants to talk about herself and do this. The donkey's going along with her. It's whatever she tries to trying to get the donkey to do what she wants.
Right.
That's when everything breaks down. And yet there's a wonderful scene in which she can't. They're at night. They can't do anything.
They're lost.
But what I love is that when she wakes up, she literally sees the beauty of nature all around her. Yeah. And again, that's another, I think, epiphany for her.
Right.
Just thinking, it's not all about me. Look at how beautiful life is, kind of thing. So, I will give it I had to admit, though, I didn't really like this movie in a way. It was like an odd kind of quirky movie, but I thought, for a woman sort of finding herself kind of movie, I preferred this over the American versions of that, because this, I think, and it was the donkey. The donkey really does add a great dimension to this story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that me? I actually really like this movie too. I thought that, to me, Patrick represented her therapist, because she really, I say he would only move when she would talk to it, and so, and then to the point that when she talks about, she's constantly talking about the guy, to the donkey, to the point where the donkey meets the guy, and he's like, and he goes, wow, and he hates the guy, and he goes, wow, he understood. Exactly. He understood so much that he actually hates this guy when he meets him. So that was interesting. I was gonna say she was self-absorbed, kind of stupid in a bit, but she's but likable. And we're talking about the biker too. That one big biker that kind of comes up to her. I thought he was a little too aggressive. That I thought maybe she was uncomfortable. That's the way I read it. But now that you mentioned that, it might have been more like she was becoming aware of, things can be different. I don't have to be stuck
other
on this.
Options.
Well, why am I chasing after something when somebody's actually chasing me?
So her facial expression might have been more like, oh, this woman, things can be different too. Well, I took it as like, what the hell is this guy doing? He's so aggressive. He's a rapist.
You really did. I know.
What's wrong with that guy?
I was like, I don't think he's bad.
Also because that cliche that he's a biker.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right?
And it's French too, so it's like,
he's definitely hitting on her like a guy.
Yeah.
But very aggressive. So, I mean, it was like, I enjoyed it. It was like, I think the donkey was the, it's funny, so likable, the donkey too. But he was even down to I would say the end of the movie, the donkey is instrumental in her life too. So it's just really, this donkey was her, it was the one that changed her, because it was her therapist.
and I have to admit too, I have to give it to the actress, because
she was great.
I have all the emotion, even with the donkey, it is being channeled through her.
Yeah, it's really
and
her,
that's why I have to give it to her, that their relationship is really the crux of it.
If you take the donkey out of it, she's not likable at all.
Well,
I don't
it would
even know
be
why.
difficult to see her sort of trek on and say, oh, that would be the American version.
Yeah.
Was where she treks on and she gets little epiphanies as she goes along. But the weirdness of that donkey and her, that's sort of wow, it's surprising how it works.
The donkey also is attached to her. And I would, without giving anything away, because of the end of the movie, right? The donkey is very attached to her, and he is actually the one
looking out for her.
Looking out for her.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Give up, Bob.
I'm an old man. And
jaded.
I couldn't get past the fact that they were walking like 10 to 20 miles a day. That was just, come on, give me
a... And you pay like almost $1,000 for this person.
Yeah, I know. So,
exactly.
It's beautiful and all that stuff, but come on. Also, I think there was an added comma in here. I think the movie is My Donkey, My Lover, and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's an
English
English no, that's a translation.
No, I get what you're saying. I know it's a
It's
different
not
thing.
the real name
Right,
of the
but I
movie.
think maybe the English translator just saw what was really going on there and threw a comma in so they could get it released.
Leave it to the Americans to make it sound like a porno just to get the scenes filled up.
But it's true. I mean, it's a platonic lover, but it's that's her lover in this movie
But you
because
know-
he's the one who loves her.
That's a good point. That's a good point. The donkey could be her lover too, in a way, but like a.
Oh no, yeah.
He is. I mean, like
That's how
I
saw
watched
it.
this
That's
movie and I
what you
said,
think it
yeah,
is.
from the beginning, I said, I can't stand this woman.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons is because I've known women like that. I've known people like that, not just women. But I've known people like that who are just like, look, when you're young and in love, you're the most obnoxious person in the world because you think, oh, everyone's in love because
She
I'm in
wasn't
love.
that young.
We're in love,
Right,
isn't it great? Oh, we're gonna get married. In Patagonia, you've got to come. You've got to come. And no, we're not paying for it, but you got to come. You got to be there. It won't be whole without you. And it's like so. Like I say, I'm an old guy. I couldn't stand this woman, but I loved Patrick. However, a donkey can't act. So if I loved him, that means I loved her too,
Right,
because
absolutely.
it was like the interaction that was going on. But
Right.
I mean, it was like, put your clothes back on, lady. Come on. And the whole thing, like chasing the guy around. I mean, look, it's a 12-step cliche. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and hoping for a different result.
Right.
And that's what she does. She behaves the same way. She doesn't really change. In fact, it's not a spoiler alert. I mean, if you can't see it coming, you've never been to a movie. When the guy shows up at the end, he's such a deus ex machina. It's like there's no reason for him being there. All of a sudden, this guy who's better looking than any other guy in the movie shows up, and I'm going to have a happy ending. I'm going to go off with him. And Patrick says, "Wait a minute, what about me?" It was just the movie without Patrick. There's no movie. I love Patrick. I didn't like her at all. I just didn't care for her behavior. I thought like everything was so cliched, so predictable that
But that's where Patrick changes it. Because really,
Patrick is what makes the movie.
angles they
The
showed
movie should
her.
have been called Patrick, except
You know
that
what?
then
Right.
you think it was a vampire
That's
movie
actually-
that was made years ago.
Her walking, I noticed all the angles of her having so much trouble. She was not put in a flattering light. So something was like always, even the shots. I remember this one where her ass looked like just falling out of her pants. You know what I mean? Because she can't get the donkey to walk up the hill. But I noticed they made all her travels with Patrick, all the filming of it was angles that were most unpleasant to watch. Somebody have
You mean
to go
unflattering
through.
to
Very
her?
Yeah.
unflattering because to present the struggle.
And I'll
Yeah.
give her credit for doing that,
Yeah.
because it's like I don't think she was the star of the movie. I don't think she's unaware that she was shot in the least possible
She
flattering
had to
way.
be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, and the thing is like the
Must have been at
donkey
the gym
is,
every day.
the donkey is just being a donkey, and that's what it's all about. It's like it's the only character in the movie who just is who they are.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
The movie should have been called Patrick.
But yeah, you're
But
right.
yeah, but then like I say, they would have thought it was a vampire movie from
Right.
the 80s.
But I thought that the people, like I was saying to Patty, having a lot of contact with French people in Canada, right? They're very like that. They're really actually not very judgmental. And I was like, oh, really?
What do you say?
Yeah.
They're not judgmental?
No.
Well, that's not
about-
my experience when I was
No,
in
no,
Canada.
no, they're not
They were
judgmental
screaming at me in the street to
in
speak
affairs
French.
of love.
No.
Not in affairs of love.
No.
Really, like
They think of
anything
it-
goes, basically.
Yeah.
But they are judgmental, like Parisian French. Hate
Yeah, but that's
Quebecian
Parisian French. Forget Parisian French. That's the minority of French, right? It's like in Canada, when I was many times in northern Quebec, where they don't speak English at all, they're French. It's like they are the most open-minded people. They were just very relaxed and all. But like I told you, it's so funny. As a teenager, you go to the school dance. The whole family goes to the school dance. Nobody. It's not like you go by yourself. The whole family goes.
Oh, really?
Right. But they
Sure, they know what the daughter's going to do if they're not around.
They think of it as very. Oh, it's that. So cute, right? It's like they're not Puritans, and that's what I found the difference. And that's one of the things I always say, like that movie, Queen's Gambit, the series. When that lady goes to Mexico City, Montreal, when she goes to Mexico City, and she goes, Can't you just smell the Catholicism? It was like the Puritans. Oh, get me that I grew up in the Puritans. It's like the Puritans. It's like, and I have to say that even the British aren't as Puritans as the Puritans here. No. It's like they're not. They threw them out.
Well,
Oliver Cromwell and that bunch
came here. They wanted to run the show.
They got thrown out of England. It was like they were too Puritan for the English. And it was like, so yes. So that's what I'm saying. There's a cultural difference in the people. And they are the people that remember the people that ran the hotel, they were just so, they were just so in love, and they were like a nice couple, and they were so open-minded with her, and they were just really great with her. And it's like that is really actually quite true. That is true, the character.
Country Parisians are way different than the city.
Not
just
Parisians, French.
French.
Yeah.
In both like Quebec and in France. But I find that true anywhere. Country folk are real different than city folk. And
they
that's
really get it. They really get
too.
it. They've seen everything. They,
grew up on a farm. Nothing really.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Okay, so are we who? Oh, Patty.
Oh, yeah. I give it an 8. I liked it a lot.
Wow. I gave it a 5.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8 too. I like that a lot.
A 3.
Oh, yeah, deuce.
I give it a 9.
Oh,
okay.
Merdi sacrement.
Sacrebleu. Yes.
I
Okay.
give actually a 3.5, but it's,
No, don't get crazy now.
Don't go nuts on us. Don't
So-
go
Well,
nuts.
you're the guy throwing in this whole rating system.
So we'll be back.
Okay, we'll be back.